Happy New Year. It is 2024. Happy 2024 Beacon Lake. And I am here to bring you the first market stats video of the year for the real estate market stats, just to kind of help us all together keep an understanding of what's happening here in our awesome neighborhood in the real estate industry. I apologize. December, I guess I was checked out. I did not do one of these in December. But now in January, we're going to look back at December and we're going to compare that to an average of some things that happened throughout the whole year, and just to kind of see where we've been trending. And maybe at the end of this, we'll talk a little bit about where at least I think we're heading. Very optimistic for this year, but at the end, I will share a few reasons why I'm so optimistic about Beacon Lake. So without further ado, let's hop in. And in December, there were 51 active homes here in the neighborhood. And of those, 15 of them were new listings. And we actually had 24 closed in the neighborhood last month. And that's really high. Really, August, September, October, November, we were averaging about 8 or 9. There were some 7 months, some 11 months. So 8 or 9 homes closed each month. And all of a sudden, December, we had 24 closed. Why do you think that is? Well, I'll give you a little hint. Dream Finders has their fiscal year end in December. And so they like to get as many things closed as possible. And that's what happened. They were closing homes left and right in December to make their shareholders happy and all that good stuff. But yeah, every December, we expect to see a lot of closings with Dream Finders in general, not just here in Beacon Lake. And so looking at the median sold price, that was at $577,000. And sellers are getting about 94% of list price at the time of sale. Now, I just want to clarify again that stat isn't necessarily from the original list price. Let's say you listed at 600,000 and then the sellers dropped the price to 575. Then they sold it for 550. Well, that stat's going to be based on the 575 to the 550, just ignoring that it started at 600. So it's when the home was actually, what it was listed at, when it got the contract versus where it closed. So not even the original. So listing price is very important right now. And just as an aside, there's something I've noticed. We've seen homes do really, really well on the price per foot. And we've seen some really, really struggle, especially versus all the new construction. And if you want to fetch that higher price per foot, condition is so important. Maybe even more so than location. I've noticed a few interior lots getting some premium money because the condition of the house was so good. And that means things are clean, things are maintained, there's no clutter. Everything needs to look like a model home because there's so much new construction right now. And so many people are looking at the models before they look at the resales. And that's just what the standard is. And even if it's close and all the incentives and all of the, all the things that the builder is offering, even if the resale is even a little bit higher because it's ready now, if it can look as good or better than a model, then that absolutely tips things in the favor. And those homes are getting more premium price per foot than the ones that maybe looked more lived in, or maybe even look like they have some maintenance concerns and whatnot. So 94% of list price. The days on market. How long is a house sitting on the market before it goes under contract? And right now it's 68 days on the market. And that's actually 80% higher than 2022. So homes in December 2022 versus homes today, homes are sitting 80% longer on the market before they get a contract. So more food for thought if you've got a list. Especially if you have some urgency around maybe another build that's finishing soon, or, a job move or something with some urgency, you definitely want to reach out to an agent earlier than later and start getting a plan in place. So, talking about price per foot, the median list price was $249 a foot. So just under $250 a foot. For listing, But remember what we talked about, the list versus sale. The median sold price was $241 a foot. So again, we as sellers, we as agents, we don't get to determine the sales price. We get to determine the list price. And so the market determines the sales price. So all the list price does is determine how long it takes for your house to sell at the price the market's willing to pay anyway. All right, cool. So let's look at some total averages for 2023. There were actually 132 homes closed in our neighborhood in 2023. That's almost $90 million, $90 million in volume. So $90 million worth of homes sold here in the neighborhood. Now, the average list price per foot, so this is the average over the whole year, was $264 a foot. The average sold price was $260 a foot. So you can see, looking at the average for the whole year versus December, the list and sold price per foot was significantly lower than the average we've seen for all of December. So if you're looking at a little line graph, we're up and down, and then we're kind of a little bit down right now on the price per foot. A few reasons for that. But I believe that we are trending up at this point. And a lot of that just gave me a little thumbs up bubble. I don't know why. I believe we are trending up at this point. And that is because of a few things. Obviously, interest rates are dropping. And so more sellers or more buyers are coming off the sidelines. Of course, some of those buyers are sellers too. So we should see more listings as well. Builders have been giving some good incentive, although that like Dream Finders in particular just dropped their incentives pretty significantly this past week. So they're not giving as much as they were in November, December. And I think the big thing for us in particular is hooray, School OO. Don't know what it's called yet, but that is huge for our neighborhood, guys. Like, I don't know how many people gave a pass on our neighborhood, or maybe even some of y'all maybe bought in here just like, not really happy about the school situation, but just kind of grinning and bearing it. Ocean Palms, Landrum are amazing schools. Not everyone likes to drive to get there. So I personally am super excited to have the new school in here. And I think that we should all be excited as far as our property values go, because a lot of those buyers that said, and gave an X to Beacon Lake are now reconsidering. We don't have that major objection anymore. And in fact, that objection of schools has now become a positive for people that want to be able to put their kids on a bike and they can ride their little bikes to school and ride their bikes home. We lived in Greenleaf Village before here, and our kids came up through Valley Ridge Academy, and it was super special. Like, the kids would get on their bike at 8 a.m. and go off to school. They'd come home at 3 p.m. and it was amazing. We loved it. It was kind of nostalgic because I always walked to school in snow, uphill both ways, right? Canada, the wind blowing, that's summer. But having a school in the neighborhood is massive, in my opinion. And you know what? Let's wait and see. I think March, April, with rates drop a little bit more and news of the school, people start getting excited. I think that we could see more competition for our homes in here, which of course should drive our prices up. If you would like a personalized idea of what your home might be worth, then, fire me a text message, give me a call, whatever, and we can make that happen. Anyways, stay classy, Beacon Lake. See you next month.